Welcome to the Gals Podcast.
Welcome. It is a beautiful, sunny, windy day outside. And well, how do you like it?
I mean, it's okay. For me, I'd really love it to be like a 68-degree day. Like that we can sit outside and absorb some sun. I feel like I thrive best in warmth.
Yes,
or at least
me
the
too.
sun. I don't need to be super warm, but like to have the sun.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now it's just miserable.
It's so miserable. I hate, like, from January, after the holidays, from January to March, that long stretch, it's really hard for me, like, going into it. Like,
agree more.
Yeah, you're going into it. You know you're going to go into it. There's no stopping it. You have to go through those 3 months.
And I am excited that it's going to be like the spring forward weekend. So tonight we lose an hour, which kind of stinks. But it will be lighter in the morning and for the day. So I am happy for that. But I'm just always, Easter is like a battle too. You never know if it's going to be like a rainy day or a nice day.
Windy.
Right. And then you're like, I'm going to wear something cute, but it's pouring and it's freezing.
Right.
It's just, this time of year is difficult. I love the in-between seasons so much, but I feel like I thrive the best, like, mentally in the summertime.
I totally agree. Like, I don't know how people live in Seattle where it rains a lot, right?
Yeah, too sad for
Chicago
me.
Or when I was in Bible college, somebody was saying that Finland has a terrible rate of suicide because it's so dark.
I
like,
can totally understand that, though.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I have to leave.
Yeah, I
cannot
have to
live
get
like
out of
this.
here, right.
Like, if I were to move to a warm place, I would love to, because I think mental health-wise in our house, it would be beneficial.
Absolutely.
But I would have to take everyone with me.
Come with me.
I'd be like, okay, I need all of you to move
family.
with me, just because we're such a close-knit group. Even my friends, like, I would just want everyone to go at the same time.
Absolutely. Like, I would love to move to Nashville or the Music City, or just somewhere where opportunity for musicians is a little bit wider.
I couldn't agree more with that. Okay, we'll go together, but we'll have to convince everyone.
We'll have to get everybody to come. Like, that's the problem, though. So I love my family so much, and they're such a big part of my identity and the values and traditions and Christmas and like all of that stuff. Like, I couldn't live without that.
Totally.
I can live without music. I really could. But to have the both worlds would be just wonderful. That would be the dream.
Hey, if people are open to it, we'll see.
We'll
see if we can ask them.
Yeah, see.
Like, what do you guys think?
So
what are we drinking today?
You're not drinking any coffee today.
I already drank coffee at home. I made a latte.
Too. I'm sure it was better than my
it was delicious.
my coffee.
My milk frother, which that is the best thing I ever bought myself.
You were talking about that
before.
Milk frother.
You need to buy I mean that. Everyone get a milk frother. I'll get for your baby shower. For your baby shower, I'll get you a gift of the milk frother. And buy something small for the babe. So this is a new drink from Starbucks. It's the Gold Ginger drink. So I love to get like juices. Like, I love the juices and stuff like that. This has pineapple, ginger, turmeric, and it's made with coconut milk.
Ooh,
it's good.
It sounds.
It's like a little
heavenly.
bit spicy in a good way. It's delicious.
So Julie actually had an idea for Starbucks to rename their drink. What is it called again?
It's called the Gold Ginger drink. But I firmly believe that they missed out on an opportunity of calling it the golden hour drink.
Yes.
Because golden hour is like, everybody's about the golden hour and taking pictures at the golden hour. And, it's always a thing. It's a magical hour. Why, Starbucks, didn't you name this the golden hour drink?
Starbucks, if you're listening, endorse us.
Yes.
Sponsor us.
Please.
But change.
That was a marketing bill.
I can't even remember the name. You just told me
It's gold. I had to keep looking at it.
Wow.
Gold Ginger drink.
That's stupid.
Right? It should be called Golden Hour.
Yes.
Come on.
Get
missed opportunity.
with the Julie program
Missed
here.
opportunity.
So you're going to go visit a gluten-free new store in Marlton
today. Oh, my
New
goodness.
Jersey.
It is a new gluten-free market. So the entire market is gluten-free, which I'm very excited about. It's called the Blue Bear Market. It's in Marlton, and I saw some pictures of what they have in there, and my first thing was they have donuts. And I haven't had a donut in a long time, and so if I go there and just get a donut,
You'll
great.
be in donut gluten-free heaven.
It'll be fabulous. So the entire market is gluten-free.
And don't be fooled. Gluten-free stuff can be good.
Yeah.
It can be really, really good. I mean, I was gluten-free for a really long time. We were talking about that. I had gluten-free donuts. I had gluten-free muffins. I had gluten-free brownies. pasta, cereals, like they really have done a great job at making the stuff flavorful.
There's an occasional bomber.
Oh, absolutely. I had a gluten-free mac and cheese once. It was like Amy's or something. It was the worst thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Sometimes the texture is an issue.
So bad. It had no flavor.
Yeah. So my friend Barb, who I work with, she also has a gluten allergy. And this week was her birthday. So it was the 27th.
So
happy birthday to Barb. Happy birthday to my dad. Yes. Happy birthday to Tori, we missed. And happy birthday to Steve. Yes. All of them are on the same days. It's so bizarre.
That is so funny. So, February 23rd.
And 27th. So Barb and my dad are the 27th, and Steve and Tori are the 23rd. So happy birthday to them. And happy birthday to Pastor Bruce. Pastor Bruce, March 3rd. Birthday.
Jamie was March 3rd too, my sister.
But for Barb's birthday, since we can't just go out and buy a cake, it's just not that kind of convenient type of a thing. She's like, don't worry, I'll make my own cake. So she brings in this chocolate cake with this icing, and it was gluten-free, and it was amazing. People who don't eat gluten-free, they're like, this is gluten-free?
Wow.
I said, well, if it's not, we're all going to find out in about 5 minutes.
Right. Just shot me off into the hospital.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine, but it won't be great. But it was so delicious. So she's like, no worries, I'll make it next time. I said, I could eat that icing like straight out of the jar. It was just so good.
Did she give you the recipe?
No, she's just going to make it. She knows that it's not, that's not my type of thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll take the recipe, but we both know that I shouldn't be baking or cooking.
So funny.
Ever.
God forbid, you know.
No.
Something slips in there that shouldn't slip in there.
Yeah, it'll be bad.
Speaking of hospitals, the coronavirus is becoming more and more popular. And I was thinking the other day how it's grown so, we're talking about it more than people are actually being affected by it, thankfully. Yes. But it is a growing concern. My son came down with a fever and a cough, and of course I look up coronavirus, and the 2 symptoms on there are fever and cough, and I'm like, oh my gosh, he has the coronavirus, he's gonna die, and then I'm just gonna die with him. Like, I cannot.
You are so me. That's exactly
take it from here to here.
Where I would have gone with it.
Absolutely. How could you not with all the panic?
Seriously. So I am scared, obviously. I have so much anxiety about the coronavirus, and everyone's talking about it. My work is like hunkered down about it, and we have to, like, they're having meetings about it every day and discussing like how to move forward. And I actually just got an email this morning about a couple updates that they're going to do at my work, because I work in Cherry Hill, and last night there was confirmed cases in Cherry Hill, and there are confirmed cases in Voorhees, and that also I have people that come to my work from there. And so I was just thinking about it. You have to wash your hands for 20 seconds.
Which I've been doing. Singing happy birthday.
That's exactly what I taught Harper. And so she just changes who she sings happy birthday to, but I taught her that. And washing them like really thoroughly. Like if you have rings on, like make sure you move the rings and make sure you dry your hands thoroughly after that as well. Good
idea, yes, rings.
Being aware of doorknobs, being aware of surfaces that are regularly used. Like I've been wiping down, I have like 3 desks that I need to pay attention to. So making sure all of my people are wiping down the desks and the phones and the calculators and the pens and anything that you kind of take for granted to use every day. But we've got to be really vigilant about it. Even if you are someone that does not get it, which that's a huge possibility, you could still be a carrier. So thinking about your grandparents or people that are sick around you or have like a sensitive immune system, you could not even know that you are carrying germs. So just being more aware of the people that are around you that you're affecting and being very vigilant about that as well. I talked to my grandma on the phone yesterday, and she was like, I wanted to go to the grocery store. And I said, well, I don't think you can go to the grocery store right now. And I don't think that you can go to church right now.
Wow.
Because, she has asbestosis.
What's that?
So it's a lung condition.
Oh,
and so if she gets sick, it will be terrible for her.
Right.
And she's in her 80s, and she is very active. She is healthy, but that is a major concern. So I told her, I'm like, you can't do that. And they're saying for 2 months, like you can't be in crowds. Like if you're someone that is sensitive to, getting sick easily or being affected, you basically need to not do anything
Just
for 2
hunker
months.
down.
Yeah.
I know your daughter has been you have 3 daughters.
Yes.
So your oldest daughter, Victoria, who's been on the show, she's been quite scared, and she's been home. Like she's like a socialite, and she's
I don't blame her. I understand, because I mean it's hard for me. Like I go into work and I'm like, okay, I just have to have a mindset that I still have to go through this, and if it becomes a severe thing, then we'll be closed, or then I'll be working from home. And I have to trust the people that are involved, that they are looking out for all of us too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it freaks me out. There are schools closing in PA. Like Google has sent all of their employees to work from home.
Wow.
So has Indeed. Like there's a bunch of companies that have told all of their people to work from home.
I read a funny quote, though, about how this is kind of like a dream for introverts. You have to avoid crowds. You have to stay home. Don't touch anybody.
Yeah, they're like, don't go to crowded places.
Don't hug anybody.
Don't hug anybody, which is like great for me.
Great.
They're like, don't shake anyone's hand.
No problem.
No problem. And it said to keep a safe distance, like, in social settings, which is also not a problem for me.
Yeah.
Like, I love people. I just need you to not invade,
my
personal space.
Yeah.
So we're just telling you, wash your hands, sing happy birthday, 20 seconds. Use your hand sanitizer if you're not able to get to a place to wash your hands.
I guess they're going to try to find a vaccine for it, just like the flu.
Probably. I'm sure people are working on it.
Yeah, I'm sure they are.
The smart people.
Yeah, the smart ones. Mm-hmm. Try not to panic and
we
pray.
Figured, though, since everyone's talking about it, we should probably talk about it.
We should have more news stuff.
I hate
news and
me
politics
too.
and all
I don't
that
watch
stuff.
the news because it makes me too nervous.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
makes me sad.
Stressful.
Like kids getting hurt
all
and
of
babies dying. I just can't deal with
all
that. Anyway, I didn't tell you what I'm having.
I'm so sorry.
It's nothing special.
Still, it counts.
Well, I did make coffee this morning, and I made the same coffee yesterday, but it came out different this morning. Weird. Okay, so yesterday I made 4 cups. This morning I made 3 cups.
Maybe that's why.
So I don't know. I don't have my K-cups right now, so I don't have that luxury. So I have to use my coffee maker, which is a lot longer and harder to use. So sometimes the coffee turns out watery. Sometimes it's too dark and it's icky. So I had to run to DD this morning because that was on my way.
Yeah.
I wish they would make a Starbucks that was like right up the road, like DD's like on every corner. But this is just a dark roast with pumpkin flavor and just cream.
I love that you got pumpkin.
Oh, yeah, pumpkin.
You just want to go back to fall.
I do.
I know.
Absolutely.
Fall's a good time.
Fall is a great time. And they usually would stop the pumpkin flavor after a certain time. But now I guess they feel that people love it. So
that was a good idea on their part.
It's a great idea. So
I agree. Get with the program, Starbucks.
Yeah.
Keep the holiday beverages. Not all of them, just an occasional one.
Just the occasional one, all right.
Okay, so we also want to talk about maybe some books that we're loving.
Yes.
Just going to go over like some things that we're really loving right now.
Besides coffee.
Yeah.
Actually, this one has to do with coffee.
Ironically.
It's the Coffee Cup Bible series by Sandra Glahn. And I always recommend it every time I'm on a podcast or doing whatever. I've recommended it so many times. But it is really fun for women because, one, coffee. Mm-hmm. And it kind of simplifies studying scripture, and it just asks you a bunch of questions, which I really like. Instead of just reading scripture, it's a little bit more practical and you have more application. So right now I am reading Solomon's Latte.
Ooh.
Which is Solomon's Song or Song of Songs, which is that very intimate book of the Bible, talking about marriage and intimacy. And
love.
Did you ever read that book?
No, I've never read that book. But the book of the Bible, yes.
Okay,
so I wasn't sure what the question was.
Okay.
Yes, I've read that book of the Bible. This book, no, I have not.
This one, yes.
Although I am interested in it because I love coffee and I love that book.
It is really, really cool, and I get a lot of things out of it. So it's not necessarily a book, as it is more of like a study book thing. And she makes you go through the scripture like 1,000 times, which is kind of annoying, but like it really makes this stick. And then she has you at the end write out the entire thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could commit to that.
It was really rough. It took like a whole notebook for me to write out Colossians, and that was only a few chapters. And she actually herself, Sandra, had written out the entire book of Deuteronomy.
What?
It took her like a year. She would do it every Sunday.
That seems insane to me.
But there's something about writing.
That is a commitment.
It's a huge commitment, but there's something about writing things down and it processes more in your brain.
I mean, yeah, that's definitely true.
But my hand hurt after a while.
I'm sure.
But I love her
I'll have to check that out.
Coffee Cup Bible series.
I'll have to.
What about you?
I've been reading The Rhythms of Renewal by Rebecca Lyons,
cool.
which is a great book. I definitely read. Oh, Our food is here. Our food is here.
McDonald's time.
So
it's
excited.
McDonald's.
There's a hash brown in there for me.
Mm-hmm.
With her name on it.
Yay.
We gave Steve permission to crash the Gals podcast today.
Just so he could bring us some food.
Because this pregnant lady needs food.
Yeah,
and we do these early in the morning. Well, not too early because
I get the benefit of just being the friend of the pregnant one, so bonus for me.
I'm gonna let that cool down over here.
Bye.
Bye,
honey. Thank you.
Anyway, so Rhythms of Renewal.
Yeah,
it's a great book. It helps with learning to work with anxiety, how to overcome it.
Oh.
It's a really great book about things that you can choose to do in your life to be more organized with your time and things like that.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. And I love Rebecca Lyons. You can follow her on Instagram. She's a wonderful mother and just an incredible woman of God that I really, really get inspired from. She has a son with Down syndrome, and she adopted a little girl that has Down syndrome.
Wow.
And she has 4 other children, I believe, all different ages. And they're just a beautiful family, and their story is just incredible. So if you can follow Rebecca Lyons on Instagram, get to know her a little bit, read her books. She has more than one, but this is just the one I'm reading right now. And then I always like to read poetry books. Just, I like to go back to different ones. This particular one, it's called Heart Talk by Chloe Wade. It's like a little tiny, probably like squarish book. And I read it in 2 days. I read all the poems, but it's so dog-eared. Like, I always put down the ones that I really love, or I'll highlight them or something like that. And you just sometimes need to pick me up. And for my kids, sometimes I'll just screenshot things and send it to them. And I love poetry books, especially like not old school poetry books, like the newer poetry.
Yeah. When you said poetry, I immediately thought of like 3rd grade Shel Silverstein.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Do you remember Shel Silverstein?
No.
My gosh.
But I know the like what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
And it's more of like, like a 2019 poetry style. Yeah.
I used to love Shel Silverstein. He had some crazy poetry, and we had to memorize it and then share it in the class and stuff.
Oh,
and I still remember
scary.
some of those poems, but I couldn't recite it now.
Brock writes poetry.
Oh.
Yes. He loves to read poetry, but he
Brock.
writes poetry. It's very, very good. He will never share it. He writes under a pseudonym.
Well, they're kind of like songs then.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Song of Songs. Solomon's Song. That was... I don't read poetry, but as you're talking about it, I'm like, yeah, I guess I did read poetry last night. Song of Songs is definitely poetry, Hebrew poetry. It's very, very hard to understand, though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are we talking about?
So, aside from reading, what are you watching?
So, Steve and I just got done Better Call Saul season 4. There's only 10 episodes per season.
I know, Brock's watching it.
Have you watched any of it?
I have not. He's watched Breaking Bad like 100 times, and now he's watching Better Call Saul. And he's watched it before, obviously, because there's 4 seasons.
Yes.
And he loves it. I mean, it's jam. He's into it. But of course, like once you finish it, like right now, he watches it on Netflix or Hulu. I'm not sure which one it's on. But then there's a season happening, but we have to wait for it to go on to Netflix or Hulu.
Yes.
So something is happening now, but you can't watch it.
We can't watch it.
So annoying.
We actually found out that we have, through Comcast, we have AMC or something. No, it's not Comcast. I don't know what it's on or what platform, but we're able to watch season 5.
Oh.
We haven't done it yet though, because we just don't have time. But it is really good. So it's a prequel to Breaking Bad. Not a Christian show at all.
No.
There's some scenes in there that you definitely
but it's so good,
want to shield your eyes from.
A lot of people say it's very good.
It is the best show that I've ever watched, both of them. Just because of how in-depth they go with the storyline and then the characters. I'm huge on character development.
Yes.
Like, go deep with me. I want to know about this person.
Mm-hmm.
But in Breaking Bad, at the end of it, I just thought of, like, the consequences of sin. Because if you don't know the show, I'm not going to give too many spoilers, but the main character, Walter White, is a chemist, and he develops like the best meth on the market. It's like 80-90% like pure, and he becomes like this huge drug lord. And anyway, his brother is in the DEA or drug whatever.
Yeah.
He's a cop.
DEA.
DA. And just how you can kind of see how the story is going to unfold from there. But it is really, really sad and heartbreaking to see how far people can go with a sinful lifestyle. Like once you just put a foot in,
right,
you can just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper.
It starts with a whisper, as we always say.
Yeah, until it leads to your death. So, which is how addiction ends.
Exactly.
Mostly, is with death.
And then the Better Call Saul is the prequel.
Yes. So Saul is the lawyer for Walter White in Breaking Bad, and they go into his story, and it's just so good.
Well, I don't know. You may have convinced me to try to watch it. Brock's always like, you got to watch it. And I'm like, nah, maybe.
I didn't want to watch it either, but my stepson years ago had convinced me, and I saw the first episode. I'm like, why am I watching this? Like, because there was some nudity in there. But then once you get past, it was only in the first episode, and then after that I'm like, wow, why didn't I watch this before?
Maybe I'll give it a try.
You'll get so sucked in that after every show you'll be like, I can't stop watching this.
I'm gonna text you and be like, I've done nothing today. I can't stop.
It's really like that
for me. I mean, I am a Bachelor fan. I like to watch The Bachelor. I like to watch The Bachelorette. I like to watch Bachelor in Paradise.
So do you like reality shows in general?
Yeah, not all of them, though. Like, I pick and choose which ones I like. I really love The Bachelor. Brock has, like, this sixth sense where he can pick the winner after the first episode. Like, he almost always is right, which makes me angry. Mm-hmm. And, but this season has been terrible. I mean, I still watched it. Mm-hmm. It just like the Bachelor himself is so indecisive, and I feel like he just like goes into the drama more than the other people. He like brings people back that he knows aren't great for the group. It's just a weird dynamic. And this week is about to be the final, I think, one. It's going to be long, but I always watch on Hulu so I can fast forward through the boring parts. Just so I can get to the rose ceremonies.
That's so funny.
But I just like the girls, and there's this one girl on there who I give mad props to. She's a Christian, and she has a lot of things that she has standards that she fully believes that she deserves for herself. And in a way, she said she didn't want to feel like bad for having those standards. She kept, she had an expectation, and she talked to him about it, and it didn't go. I don't think she talked about it to him in the full extent that she should have, and I think she waited a little too long, but I still give her mad props for it, because she's like, listen, I'm saving myself for marriage, and if you do these things with these other girls, I don't think that I can, how can you ask me to marry you 6 days later? So I appreciate where she's coming from, and it's got to be hard for someone in that position to be on the show, but she's made it to the end, and I have no idea what will happen from there. I'm sure there'll be twists and turns, but I do think she is the right choice for him. Personal opinion. I love to watch This Is Us. It pulls on your heartstrings, and that show is full of character development.
I keep wanting to watch that.
It is so beautiful, and the way that the writers write the story, and like they made, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but they made an episode based around a fitted sheet. Like the way that they use things to go back to like when the kids were little, to go into the future, and how they are as past the time of that you're watching them. Like it goes in all different points of their lives. Cool. And it's just so incredibly interesting. And the characters are beautiful. And the way that they have picked their actors to work as being the toddlers and the babies, and then the teenagers and the adults, and then the older adults, it's amazing. So amazing. And they just wrap it so beautifully together, and it's a great show. If you're not watching it, definitely watch it.
I haven't.
It's beautiful. And then also my last favorite of all time, Law & Order SVU, is always my go-to for thriller shows. But I gotta say, the song, I can't. I have to fast forward.
Oh yeah,
it like terrible. It gives me anxiety, and then I'm like, I gotta fast forward through this. Like, like forget it. But we all know that when it all's said and done, that the only show that matters to me is Friends.
Yes, every time it comes on, I immediately think of you. Like, this is Julie's show. It brings such joy to our heart.
It's my favorite.
I do like that show. When it's on, I'm like, I'll just put it on. Sometimes just for background noise.
So
but it definitely does give me a chuckle here.
We hope you guys, watch some of them and let us know what you think.
Yes.
And if you are watching them, please let me know what you think about The Bachelor. Like, where are you with it?
And if you're considering watching Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, and if you are a Christian, I just want to let you know, like,
every single one of these shows that we just talked about are not any type of Christian show.
Yeah, so we don't want to really endorse them, but they do, in a way, have some really, they're just really great shows.
It's up to you. It's your judgment.
Yeah.
And if you don't feel comfortable, that's cool. We're not putting it on you.
Yeah. But we did come up with our own hashtag.
Yes.
Social media hashtag. We are on Instagram, The Gals Podcast.
We need a social media helper. We've said it before, but I'll say it again.
We definitely did. We're on Facebook, The Gals Podcast, and we have our own YouTube channel now. So we want you to start using Thanks for the Chat. So I was thinking,
you heard us say it.
Yes. I was thinking we should turn the 4 into an actual 4.
Yeah.
I think that's easy.
Thanks
instead
for
of
the chat.
Yeah.
If you can. Sometimes if you put numbers in there, it doesn't like it. Mm-mm.
Okay. So we'll do Thanks, FOR.
The chat.
The chat.
Mm-hmm.
So you can use that hashtag to, call us to your attention.
Yeah.
And
tag us in something.
Tag us in, things.
Start using it just all around.
Things that you want us to talk about on the show, different topics, that would be great. Just put Thanks for the Chat underneath the picture on Instagram or on Facebook.
And then we'll check the hashtag and see what's going on under there.
I think it works better for Instagram or Twitter, but not so much Facebook.
No, I don't think it talks to Facebook like that.
No. So just Instagram, Thanks for the Chat. And we would love to hear your suggestions as far as what you want us to talk about. So we did our birthday shout outs. I do have a gig tonight. I'm singing 2 songs. I just wanted to talk about that real quick.
Yeah, and I want to talk about something too. So go right ahead.
So I thought it was a perfect gig for the 2 songs that I'm singing tonight because it's about families who care for children or anybody who's disabled. And I have a song called Father Son that's on my first record. And I'd written it with a woman named Tara who has a son who has autism. His name's Colin. And Tara found that not only did it affect him, but it also affected the whole family. It actually affected his older sibling, his sister, Carly. And how Carly had a really hard time relating to him and playing with him and talking to him because she just couldn't figure him out. Like, he just had a different set of rules.
Right.
And would stay in his room and scream. And so she actually ended up writing a book about it too, Tara.
Wow.
It's called Why Is Colin Like That? And her last name is Bruce, so she has a pseudonym, Dr. Bruce, like Dr. Seuss. I thought she was like so creative with all this stuff. And she brought to me lyrics one day and said, Des, could you write a song about what my family is going through? And of course I said, sure. And I wrote the song within like 10 minutes. It was like such a God thing. So it's called Father Song and it's up on YouTube. And it's a prayer that God would help these families with disabilities, that they're caring for them, that God would just strengthen and help them, especially the parents, because that's really hard to see your children walk through.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or your parents walk through. Like, if one of my parents had a disability and I had to care for them, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Not just for them, it's hard on you. So you can check that song out on YouTube.
Emotionally and physically.
What you got, girlfriend?
Well, I was asked to speak for a mother-daughter banquet coming up in May. And I was asked to speak to sing some of my own music or sing some music as well as lead worship. And I have just been praying about whatever God wants me to speak about. I'm not really sure what that is. I've had a couple ideas, but it is a place where there are people that are Jesus followers and some that are non-followers.
That's always cool.
And I'm excited to that. I just want to make sure I speak into both types of people. I want to make sure that it's not something that irritates one over the other and that is something that they can relate to. So I'm, thinking about that. It's really exciting. What a cool thing, an honor to be called out of nowhere. And they're like, Julie, we think you'd be perfect for this. We really want you to be speaker. I'm always like, really? Okay. I can lead worship. They're like, no, we want you to lead worship too, but we want you to speak. We want you to be the speaker. And that's amazing. This is a huge thing. And I'm really excited for it. And lastly, this is my last month of Worship Circle with Kim Walker-Smith.
Oh, wow.
And I think, I could still continue with her, but it looks like my new coach.
You chose somebody else.
Yes, I did. and it's going to be Rita Springer.
Wow.
Rita
awesome.
Springer.
Wow.
It was a hard debate for me because Tasha Cobbs Leonard was also there. And
who I
she
always
could
call
be,
Tasha Cobbs.
Yeah. You can call her that
Like
if you
corn
want.
on the cob.
I'm sure she wouldn't be upset. But in the end, like, Rita Springer is like a pillar in the worship world.
She's got a
and
line of a voice.
I was praying about it a lot, and I remembered so clearly about the song Defender, which I've talked about many times, and I forgot that she is the one that wrote that song.
Oh yeah.
Like, it brought Jesus Culture brought that song to life for me, but she wrote that song, and I was like, this is the answer. Like, God, I get it, and I can't wait to just like speak to her and absorb all of her wisdom and be able to put that into my own worship leading skills. But I'm really excited. So that'll start in April.
Now, do they have those retreats every year too?
Yeah,
so
sometimes twice. So I would do it again.
Do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rita Springer, the Defender song, that was, she was the first artist that I heard sing that song.
Yeah, she wrote it.
And then you had introduced me to the Jesus Culture one. And then Francesca Battistelli had come out with that, which I actually didn't like too much.
It was too poppy for me. That song I felt like needed a little more, like, it needs a little more chill vibe, like with the words, and it's one of those very powerful songs. And I feel like her version, no offense to the people that do like it, it just didn't take it there for me.
It didn't for me either. It just didn't quite. It just felt forced in its production, and yeah, I didn't like it either. So I'm glad you agree. So I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah, we just want to do a little catch up of important things and fun things, and I'll let you know how the market was.
Oh yes, please write a review.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you guys know.
Biting into the donut, just tell us exactly what you're feeling.
I'll do some Instagram posts. I'll tag the Gals Podcast, and we can repost it on the Gals Podcast. Yeah. You guys can see all the magic that will be at that place.
That will be awesome.
At that market.
Would love
so
it.
excited.
Thanks for the chat.
# Thanks for the chat.